I did say that I was going to update you if there are any more developments on the Glamlite Kiss collaboration, and I'm a woman of my word, so here's the new information. They've given us a reveal of the new palette, which I don't know about you, but like the palettes are always the big ticket items for me. So I guess they're really like whetting our appetite. I have to say a massive thank you to Makeup on Your Radar. These are their photos that they've curated together, and I've also taken some information from them. So let's discuss this. The launch date is still the same, but if you missed it, it's by the way the 15th of March, so only a few more days to go. What I find really interesting is that they've said that every Kiss palette is encased in an ultra exclusive limited edition collector's box, beautifully crafted to house this iconic palette. You don't want to miss out on this once in a lifetime exclusive. So I guess the palette itself is limited edition, and I find it quite interesting that they're obviously putting packaging on top of that. I mean, how are they keeping the cost down to $36? I often wonder this about Glamlite. I do not know how they keep the cost down and still have like really, really good formulas. But hey, it's witchcraft and I'm not against it. The palette itself is curated in a really, really interesting way, and I love that they've managed to capture all 4 members because each row actually represents a different member of Kiss, with each of the rows basically matching their signature colour themes. So that's quite interesting. If we look at the very bottom row, it's the Demon, which is all an assortment of fiery reds. Let's be real, if you've watched Glamlite for quite some time, they're kind of known for their reds. They have quite a few palettes that have reds in them, so this isn't a massive surprise. The next row up then is the Starchild, which is a medley of rich purples. And I do find that quite interesting that a lot of this palette is very like either very deep tones or kind of mid-tones. There's not an awful lot of light tones. However, I think that makes a huge amount of sense when we're looking at an actual rock band. They're not really known for pastels, are they? Then the next row up is the Catman, and it's a whole bunch of greens. And I have to say, I am really into that row. Are you that surprised? I think it's really, really cool. Plus, it's called Catman. And the very top row then is the Spaceman, which is all blues and a little bit of a silver in there as well. What I find quite interesting about this palette is that it's almost like 2 palettes in one. You can see the purple and the reds and how well they kind of cohere as a really interesting palette. I quite like that greyish purple. That's quite unusual. I will say though, if you've got quite a few of the Glamlite palettes so far, you could probably not quite dupe it, but you could get quite a few similar looks out of it. If, however, you've never tried Glamlite, you'll enjoy this. This is quite nice. But my goodness, the top 2 rows are a bit of me. Look at how gorgeous they are, like that, like really interesting, almost taupey green. Very, very cool. I do feel though it's kind of similar to some of their Halloween collection, but to be fair, Glamlite have done so much lately that it's kind of hard not to somewhat like replicate what they've done before. However, again, I think this is great for a collector. You'll really enjoy it. The formula is fantastic. I do feel like they've really started out quite strong on this, so I can't wait to see what else they're coming out with on this. I would find it very weird if they didn't come out with like eyeliners or something like that. I do have one thought about this. So they have said that essentially the palette comes in a limited edition collector's box, which I think very, very cool, particularly if you're a huge fan. But it does make me wonder, does that mean that the palette itself is limited edition, or is it that just the packaging in that way is limited edition? I think it would be smart if they had it so that just the packaging itself is limited edition. FOMO, who wants that these days? However, I think it's not bad at all. Now, I am not a fan of Kiss. No issue there. You know, everyone likes their own thing. But I think this is curated really quite well. Let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in this or not?